Welcome to Informed Tourist. I'm Curtis, your traveling guru. Have you ever booked a dream vacation, only to land in a nightmare? Every year, millions of travelers unknowingly step into regions on the brink of chaos. Today, we're exposing the destinations travel agencies won't warn you about, places where political unrest and violence are daily realities. We'll break down why these countries are currently off limits. From civil wars and gang violence to collapsing economies and brutal regimes, this is the critical information that could save you from a catastrophic mistake. Stick around until the end for a crucial piece of survival advice every international traveler needs. It's a secret that could save your life if you're ever trapped abroad when things go wrong. Let's dive into the countries you need to avoid for your own safety. Our first stop is Haiti, once a Caribbean paradise, now gripped by crisis. Port-au-Prince has become a battlefield with heavily armed gangs controlling much of the city and rendering the government powerless. Lawlessness is rampant, the streets are unsafe day or night. Gangs rule through fear, unleashing brutal, indiscriminate violence. Gun battles erupt without warning, trapping civilians in the crossfire. Kidnapping for ransom is common, with foreigners seen as prime targets. Aid workers, missionaries, and tourists have all been abducted. The U.S. State Department has issued its highest-level travel advisory, do not travel. There are no safe zones, and the government has essentially collapsed. After the assassination of President Moise in 2021, gangs filled the power vacuum. The police are outgunned, and the main airport has been attacked and closed repeatedly. Hospitals are barely functioning, often overrun by armed groups. There's no tourist infrastructure left, and any visit would put your life at extreme risk. The beautiful beaches and vibrant culture are buried under violence and despair. Gang violence blocks aid, deepening the humanitarian crisis and fueling more desperation. The international community struggles for solutions, but for now, Haiti is a nation held hostage. It is one of the most dangerous places in the world for outsiders. Stay away until peace is restored. Next, we travel to Sudan, a country torn apart by civil war. Since April 2023, violent conflict between the Sudanese armed forces and the Rapid Support Forces has devastated major cities, including Khartoum. Airstrikes and urban combat have displaced millions, forcing them into makeshift camps with little food or medicine. The humanitarian crisis is among the world's worst, with aid nearly impossible to deliver. Foreigners face extreme dangers, being caught in crossfire, mistaken for combatants, or targeted at unpredictable checkpoints. There's no functioning government in many areas, and ethnic violence in Darfur has led to mass killings and forced displacement. Infrastructure has collapsed. No reliable electricity, water, or healthcare. Airports are destroyed, roads are controlled by warring factions, and communication is often cut. The U.S. Embassy has suspended operations. You'd be entirely on your own. Sudan's rich heritage is overshadowed by unimaginable suffering. The message is clear: do not go to Sudan. It is an active war zone with no safe place for outsiders. The world watches in horror as the conflict deepens. Our thoughts are with the Sudanese people. For travelers, Sudan is completely off limits. Now to Venezuela, a country of stunning beauty in a state of collapse. Years of mismanagement and sanctions have led to economic implosion and widespread danger. Hyperinflation has made the bolivar nearly worthless, and basic goods are scarce. Crime is rampant. Venezuela has one of the world's highest homicide rates. Armed robbery, carjacking, and kidnapping are common, especially in Caracas. Corruption blurs the line between police and criminals. Foreigners are lucrative targets for express and long-term kidnappings. Infrastructure is crumbling. Power outages and water shortages are daily realities. Hospitals lack basic supplies and medical care is unreliable. Political instability means protests and violent clashes can erupt without warning. The U.S. government has a level 4 do not travel advisory. The U.S. embassy is closed. No consular help is available. No waterfall or beach is worth the risk. Venezuela remains dangerously off limits until real change occurs. Stay away for your own safety. Our journey takes us to Afghanistan, a country synonymous with conflict. Since the 2021 U.S. withdrawal, the Taliban have retaken control, plunging the nation into oppression and uncertainty. The security situation is volatile, with terrorism from ISIS-K a constant threat. Public places are frequent targets and foreigners are at high risk. Under Taliban rule, strict Sharia law is enforced and human rights, especially for women, have been dismantled. Foreigners face an opaque legal system and severe risk of arbitrary detention. Consular access is not guaranteed. You could be held indefinitely. The humanitarian crisis is staggering, with widespread hunger and a collapsed healthcare system. Visiting Afghanistan diverts scarce resources from those in need and puts locals at risk. Adventure tourism here is not just dangerous, it's unethical. The U.S. State Department's do not travel advisory is absolute. There is no U.S. embassy presence. Afghanistan is not a tourist destination. It is a country under a repressive regime and ongoing threat of terrorism. Do not go. Now to Myanmar, a country of golden pagodas now gripped by violent struggle. The 2021 military coup plunged Myanmar into civil war and chaos. The junta responds to protests with brutal force, thousands killed, tens of thousands arrested. Martial law gives the military unchecked power, and fighting has spread nationwide. For travelers, the entire country is a conflict zone. Crossfire, bombings, and landmines are real dangers. Tourism infrastructure has collapsed, and the regime is deeply suspicious of foreigners. Surveillance is pervasive. A wrong word or photo can lead to arrest. Several foreigners have been detained on trumped-up charges. Travel advisories worldwide urge avoiding Myanmar. Consular support is limited, especially outside Yangon. Visiting now ignores the suffering of its people and puts you in grave danger. The fight for Myanmar's future is ongoing. Until resolved, it's no place for tourists. We now travel to Yemen, the site of the world's worst humanitarian disaster. Years of civil war have shattered the country, with the Houthis and a Saudi-led coalition locked in brutal conflict. Hundreds of thousands have died from violence, starvation, and disease. Airstrikes and shelling frequently hit civilian targets. Famine and cholera are rampant. For foreigners, Yemen is one of the most dangerous places on earth. Kidnapping and terrorism are constant threats. Al-Qaeda and ISIS operate freely, targeting Westerners. There's no functioning central government or law and order. Foreign embassies have long since closed. The country's beauty is inaccessible, located within a deadly conflict zone. Any attempt to visit is suicidally dangerous and deeply unethical. The U.S. State Department's do not travel advisory is absolute. Yemen is a failed state, ravaged by war and famine. Stay far away. Next is North Korea, the world's most secretive and isolated country. The totalitarian regime maintains control through surveillance and brutal punishment. As a foreigner, you're watched constantly. Your guides are government minders, your movements strictly controlled. The legal system is arbitrary. Minor actions can be treated as serious crimes. Taking an unauthorized photo or disrespecting a leader's image can mean years in prison. The tragic case of Otto Warmbier is a stark warning. Detention can be fatal. Even on guided tours, you see only a sanitized version of the country. Your money supports an oppressive regime and its nuclear ambitions. Foreigners risk being used as political pawns, especially during international tensions. Most countries have no diplomatic presence to help you. Since 2020, North Korea's borders have been sealed, but the dangers remain. The US bans travel there for its citizens. North Korea is not a quirky adventure, it's a trap. Don't fall for it, stay away. Finally, we visit Lebanon, a nation of history and culture now on the brink of collapse. Since 2019, Lebanon has faced one of the world's worst economic crises. The currency has lost nearly all value, pushing most people into poverty. Hyperinflation and shortages of essentials are daily struggles. Infrastructure is decaying, blackouts are constant, and hospitals are affected. The government is paralyzed and crime rates are rising. Powerful groups like Hezbollah operate independently, raising the risk of sudden conflict. The 2020 Beirut port explosion symbolized the country's decay and ongoing trauma. While the people are resilient, travel here is risky and unpredictable. The U.S. advises reconsidering travel due to crime, terrorism, and unrest. Banking and fuel crises could leave you stranded. Lebanon's beauty is undeniable, but it's currently too unstable for safe tourism. Admire it from a distance until stability returns. We've explored the world's most dangerous destinations, a sobering reminder that travel dreams must be balanced with caution. The people living through these crises pay the highest price. Here's the crucial advice. If things go wrong abroad, head to your home country's embassy, not the airport. Airports are often targeted or shut down in crises, but embassies are protected and better informed. Bonus tip: register your trip with your country's travel alert system before you go. It's free and could save your life. Travel is enriching, but never be reckless. Which country surprised you most? Share your story in the comments, like and subscribe for more unfiltered travel truth. Stay safe, stay smart, and never stop exploring.